So here we are, release and renew. We're going to be kind of building on the holiday harmony series that we did the last 6 Saturdays and blending nonviolent communication and Qigong. And these are two of my really great passions right now. And each one I think really supports the other. You know, Qigong is about self-connection, presence, tuning into what's alive in us, creating health and healing and peace. And nonviolent communication really has a lot of those same principles and purposes, just through language and through relationships and through interactions. And so I see each of them supporting each other because in order to utilize the kind of higher order thinking and the choicefulness within our language and our thoughts, it's really hard when we're triggered and stressed and in pain and uncomfortable. And so the self-regulation practices of Qigong, I think, really support the NVC process, and NVC can also enrich the experience of Qigong as well in looking at our self-talk, our own self-awareness. So I think there's a lot of overlap and a lot of gifts that these two systems can provide each other. So my unique perspective is to bring these together. This class is going to be more focused on nonviolent communication because I already have a ton of Qigong classes. Some of you are in them already. So you can kind of practice them independently and then integrate them on your own. So today will be like mostly NVC, and then we'll just do a little Qigong to kind of supplement that. Anytime during class, if you have questions or comments, contributions, things that you want to say, you can type it in the chat, and then at the end, we're going to have a chance to talk and review and catch those things as well. So feel free to do that for yourself. All right, well, let's start with a self-reflection. So just today, right now, how's your physical energy from 1 to 10? Your emotional state, your mind? Go ahead and fill out that form, or you can just jot it on your packet. What are you doing today? All right, and then you can go to the next question when you're done with that. Just 3 things you're grateful for today. And another way to do this is you can also type it into the chat if you want to do it that way. You can share what you're grateful for in the chat, or you can do it on your paper. All right. And I'm going to kind of, even if you haven't finished, I'm going to kind of keep things moving. But hopefully there's a lot to be grateful for. And do you know why you should always invite a jeweler to your New Year's Eve party? They can help you ring in the new year. I'm going to need to get a little drum set in the back there and then train my cat to do a little Awesome. Susan says, I'm thankful for my daughter who's given me 40 wonderful years. Ah, beautiful. Grateful for the beautiful day and nature. All right, I'm getting some pity laughs from the crowd. Thank you so much. The eye rolls, the groans, all keep me going. So the higher the cringe, the greater the success of the dad joke. So thank you for that. All right, so now we're going to go into a process called the high, the low, and the lesson. And we're going to do a special way of connecting to these particular parameters within the year through the nonviolent communication framework, Then we're going to do some Qigong, some movement, some energy movement. And then we'll come back and we're going to dive into the 21-day daily journal. And this is a process you can use to kind of have to help you connect to what is most important, uh, in the moment. This happened when I was teaching a class as well, where somebody takes over the screen and starts drawing on it. Let me see how I can make that not happen. Who can share? Who can start sharing? Okay. Uh, there we go. Okay. Uh, I had Yeah, I was teaching a kids class, and there was one kid, he was meditation class, and he could not care less about meditating, and so he kept taking over the Zoom screen and drawing on it, doing stickers and stuff. I don't think this was done intentionally today, but he was definitely trying to take over. I do. This is another thing ARP helps with is screen share security, bouncer, disable annotation for others. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. So let's dive right in. Whoa, where'd it go? Okay. So take a few minutes now, and you can even close your eyes and take a trip down memory lane and think about what was your high point from 2024. What was the kind of most pleasant or powerful or important moment? What was the greatest, maybe a moment where you had an incredible feeling uh, as a sign of this high point? So go ahead and write it down. Jot down what was your high point, kind of what happened, what was the circumstance, or and again, feel free if you want to type this into the chat. It's really fun to see what other people are experiencing as we go through this. You can do it in your journal or you can do it in the chat. What was your high point of 2024? Oh, being in the totality of the solar eclipse. That's so cool. We had that happen here in Oregon in 2017, and we were out on a river when it happened. It was really, really beautiful. High point, my grandson came over, jumping out of his mom's arms into mine when he saw me. That is the sweetest feeling in the world. The other one is when they run to you with their arms open for a hug. It's like, I don't think it gets any better than that. Hmm. Wow. Another person watching the eclipse, knowing family and friends. The high road to connect with my brother. That's beautiful. Yay. Oh, wow. Finding Diane and Nate's Zoom classes. Cool. Thank you for sharing all that. So the the power of nonviolent communication is sometimes a little mysterious or a little bit subtle. And if you think about when you're doing Qigong, 'cause a lot of you have done Qigong with me before, there's a difference between kind of just waving your hands around and really feeling energy, right? So a lot of you have experienced that sensation of when the energy kind of like clicks and it's like, oh, like there's something here, there's something alive, there's something vibrant, right? I'm not just waving my hands through the air, I'm actually interacting with something vital, right? And so with nonviolent communication, the same thing happens with language, where it's so often and so easy that we can just talk. We can just say things or repeat things or just share opinions or we can exchange so much information, but there isn't that sense of really connecting with the other person or connecting with ourselves as we're speaking, right? And so what's missing and what brings life to our language is our feelings and our needs. And I think we've all experienced that, like when we're able to have a conversation with somebody and there's real, genuine feelings coming through us, or we can really feel what they're experiencing. And we're connected, whether we have a word for it or not, with the underlying needs, with what is really important, what means something to them. Those are the conversations that connect us as humans. Those are the conversations, those are the expressions that really bring us to life, right? And so NVC, that's really where we're aiming in our words and in our conversation is how do we bring life to our language? And the way to do it, what we point to is our feelings and our needs. So some of the tools of NVC are really helpful because we develop a vocabulary of feelings, which for a lot of us is um, is is kind of a foreign language. It's like what are you feeling? I don't know. Or, what are you feeling? It's, I feel like you should do this. We cloak our feelings in requests or in thoughts, but actual feelings are a little different. So let me pull up our list of feelings here. So because this is a high point, our feelings will likely be on this list somewhere. So there's a list of some feelings when our needs are satisfied. So the next thing is write down in that high point of the year, what was the feeling that came with it? Maybe one or two or three of these. What was the feeling that came along? And feel free to also type that in the chat if you want to have this be a little more interactive and fun. I'm going to just pause my sharing for a second because I think it's trying to let people in the room. Uh, okay. I guess it's tricky. Yeah, at some point I'll need an assistant to help with the logistics. So, all right. Sorry, back to the thing. All right. So yeah, what is the feeling there? And then next, this is another really key concept, which really was a paradigm shift for me to think about emotions and feelings, not just as these random experiences like the weather, like it's raining today, it's sunny today, I'm happy today, I'm sad today, but thinking about our feelings as a direct correlation to our fundamental human needs. So they're even described this way, that these are feelings when our needs are satisfied. So then the next question is, what needs? Which needs were satisfied in this high point that made us feel this way? And needs are, this is a list of some common human needs. This is kind of help us get started. Doesn't mean this is the official list, but it's one that a lot of people put a lot of thought into. And see if you can find which need of yours was most connected to that high point? What mattered about that to you? And see if I can zoom in a little bit. This is also one reason why it's nice to have these printed is often it's a little hard to see, especially if you're on a small device, um, to kind of see all these little words here. Feel free to type in the chat if you'd like, which needs were there. Wow, this was spontaneity, thrilled, appreciative, optimistic, felt loved, whole and grateful, amazed and awed at the eclipse, excited, thankful, open-hearted, and we need security. Yeah. Integrity, we included fairness. Yeah. Yeah. Connections with loved ones, being heard. Yeah. Acceptance, companionship, fun, community, harmony, belonging. And this is one reason why this is so powerful is that often a meaningful experience happens and we get attached to that particular strategy. Like let's say, like it's an eclipse, like that can generate these feelings of awe and wonder at that beauty and that sense of um, presence that it brings, that sense of connection that we're all seeing the same thing, right? And so then if we know what these underlying needs are, that these are things that really matter to me. Now, these kind of general abstract needs can become these roots that can branch off into so many different places. They say, oh, community is important to me. That sense of awe and wonder are important to me. Now I can find lots of ways to experience that. And I don't have to get attached to one experience or one person or one thing to meet that need. And so by drilling in and connecting to something a little bit deeper, not only can we enjoy that uh, even deeper because we connected to what mattered about it, but it also provides us creativity for how we can consistently meet that need in lots of other ways. All right, so now we're going to do the same process for this last year's low point. And so now, same question. What was your low point, lowest point? And this could be often found if you think of that moment where you felt the worst, where there was that, generally it'll be that feeling that signals um, that low point, right? So go ahead and write that out for yourself. You can write it on your paper. You are welcome to share it in the chat, of course. But if you prefer to have that be private, then there's no pressure to share anytime during this class. So no worries. So think of what was that low point, and then you can move on to connecting to what feelings arose. That will come from that other list of feelings when our needs are not satisfied. For some reason, this list is a lot bigger than the other list, unfortunately. So we have a lot of words for the uncomfortable stuff, maybe more than the pleasant stuff. And then you can connect those feelings to what need was that connected to. Yeah, I'm seeing a few. Yeah, mainly it's the deaths of three dear friends. Lost my cousin. Lost my cool with a dear friend. Sudden loss of friends. Yeah, depression. College friend passed away. Yeah. Mm, yeah, arguing when NBC went out the window. Yep, been there. So yeah, and so when you think of that feeling and then what is the need? Yeah, death of my husband. Mm, yeah, my heart goes out to you. And so, especially when it's somebody who's been so close to us or so important to us, those needs, there could be many of these needs that that person really contributed to, right? That close relationship, um, that that closeness, that intimacy, the the sense of presence they brought, the communication, that sense of community, or that sense of playfulness we had. What was it about that relationship in particular, or whatever your low point is? What needs are most closely linked to why that loss or that rupture or that experience was so painful to you? So reflecting on that and writing that down. And don't be surprised if a lot of these feelings kind of stir up again, right? Because as we connect with our grief, with our loss, with this pain, it can be really sad. It can be really hard. And one of the things about NVC, though, is that we separate out the kind of thoughts or judgments about that experience, and we just connect directly to the need, to what was most important about that. And so often when there's like an experience it feels like there's a lot of shame or regret, that's often the feeling is also linked with thoughts like, oh, I'm not a good parent, or I'm not a good friend, or my family is dysfunctional, or whatever it is. Those thoughts kind of get in the way, and they generate a certain um, kind of smoke screen. And so as we kind of clear that, connect to the feeling, and connect to the need itself, those feelings might arise, but sometimes new feelings will also kind of bubble up. There can be, um, Rosenberg says, almost like a sweet pain where it's like it's painful, but it's like it's almost like a healing pain. It's like somebody's pressing on that knot in your neck, and it's so painful, but then there's also a bit of relief. It's just come into contact with that, right? Yeah. So thank you all for sharing in the chat. I know that also takes a lot of vulnerability, but it really does contribute to everyone's learning and connection. So thank you for that. So now let's connect to what was your greatest lesson from 2024? Kind of from these parameters of your high and your low, and everything in between. What is your takeaway? What was your most valuable lesson? Um, what are you taking out of 2024 as that silver lining, perhaps, or that gift, or that seed? Take a few minutes now and reflect on that. And feel free to write it in your journal, or you can type it into the chat if you'd like. Letting go of what I can't control. Yeah, let it go. Yeah, it's a theme here. I cannot change others, especially family. Yes. I can only change myself, my reactions. I'm not in control. Yeah, there's a theme here, huh? Hmm. Yeah, connect and communicate, not delay. Importance of maintaining connections with others. I can feel lots of different things and I can deeply care about people. Let's take another minute and feel free to share. And most valuable lesson, relationships can end and it can be just because they aren't needed anymore. Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the powerful things of MVC is like, how do we remove that false dichotomy of blame? Like, is it my fault or is it your fault? Right. And kind of when we frame things in that way, we get trapped. And to say, like, oh, there's actually another option. We can step out of that sense of what's wrong with me or what's wrong with you into, yeah, maybe this just ran its course. Maybe we have different needs. Maybe we're different people now. Yeah. Change grace lesson. It's okay to ask for help. Yeah. Let go of the shame of thinking I was a burden if I did. What a beautiful lesson. And sometimes even I can imagine the the joy that somebody might get being able to contribute to your well-being, right? This is another one of the principles of MVC is that when we look at the needs list, and it's interesting to think because you could look at this and you could say, oh, we're all just selfish creatures. We're all just everything we do and say is just a strategy to meet our needs, right? And that is true in this perspective. However, perhaps the greatest need is the need to contribute to life, the need to contribute to each other's well-being, the joy that we get of making life more wonderful for each other, I believe is actually the greatest need of all. And so, what if we could do it all? What if we could advocate for our needs, ask for what we want, and also know that when somebody else does that to us, they say, can you help me? I need your help. That we can contribute to the one of the greatest joys that that person can experience, which is to contribute to someone else's well-being. What a beautiful thing, right? That we can give and receive with this joy, with this sense of reciprocity. So to me, that's the promise of MVC. Like that's what we're hoping to get to, right? Yeah, thank you for bringing that to light. Hmm. All right, so this is the first step, and now I'd be curious to know just what are your reflections so far on just this very simple process of connecting to what mattered? What did you feel and what did you need in this year, whether it was or wasn't satisfied? What came alive for you just in talking about this? For me, I'm already kind of feeling emotional just connecting with this process, just how grateful I am to have found this process and to get to share it and to teach it, because I get to learn it more. I get to um, remind myself of these principles. What stands out to you so far of just connecting to this very simple process? Yeah, Don says feeling emotional, filled with love and grateful. Yeah. Mhm. Brings comfort to connect with others experiencing challenges. Yes. Yeah, what a relief, right? We're not alone. Uh, you know, one of my favorite phrases is whenever I hear the word normal, I don't know where I heard this, but somebody said, you know what a normal person is? Somebody you don't know very well. I was like, that is it. That's my takeaway from 2024. Anytime I'm thinking, this isn't normal, this isn't right, I'm like, yeah, it probably is. Yeah, it made me, it's okay to be vulnerable. Yeah, so hard. But yeah, that's actually the point where we can connect with each other, right? That's the contact point, that's the cohesion. Yeah. Normal is a setting on a washing machine. That's good too. I like that. I'm stealing that one. Yeah, Sylvia says I'm not alone. Yeah. Relationships are precious. Always amazed at the list of feelings and needs, all the words to name how I feel when I was raised not to, right? Yeah. That's huge, right? Just having a vocabulary, having a language, having a way to articulate is very powerful. Uh, thank you all for sharing that. And let's do a little movement. Feel free to continue typing in if you're in the middle of it. But we're going to move to our Qigong section now, and then we're going to get into our 21-day daily journal process that I'm inviting you to join me with in the new year. So, yes. Zoo says, funny that my childhood, my goal was always to be normal. I succeeded because normal is not defined correctly. Yeah. Yeah. If we define normal as totally, uh, totally different than everybody else, then yeah, we're all normal, right? All right. So I'm going to put a little music on. I always like to move with music, and feel free to join me on your feet. You can always do this seated as well. But let's do some movement now, because this is also one way to kind of move energy through our body through the Qigong practices. All right, I think that it is playing. We'll start as we usually do, knocking on the door of life. Just turn and tap, open palm to the chest, light fist to the lower back. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Shifting your weight. And for the next 10 minutes or so, just give yourself your undivided attention. Let all this energy flow, whatever's alive in you. It could be sad, it could be poignant, nostalgic, it could be happy, giddy. Whatever it is, just let it move through you without judging it, without worrying about it. All move. Let's tap the top of the head, fingertips to the crown. And sometimes NBC can be kind of heady work. We can kind of be looking at charts and trying to think about what am I feeling. And sometimes it's nice to just give your head a little break and get into the body, get into the language of life, the sensations happening right now and here. We can ground this work with our presence to take on new power. Fingertips to collarbones. I was taking a yoga therapy teacher training course in Portland, and the teacher, who studied a lot of neuroscience and psychology along with her background in yoga, she pointed out that there's kind of two general strategies that we take with transformation or healing. Go ahead and open the palms and tap the ribs, bouncing your knees as you go. She said there's two general strategies. One is a bottom-up approach and one is a top-down approach. And the idea is, like in yoga, you think of it as a bottom-up approach, or Qigong, any movement art, dance, going to the gym, going for a walk. As you change your body, as you change your actions, you can actually influence and change how you feel, and that can change your thoughts, your mind state, your access to your higher order thinking and patience and clarity. And you can also go the other way. Let's stretch your arm up, tap your armpit. There's a top-down approach, and this is kind of like therapy or counseling or talking to a friend or meditation, and you kind of change the mental state, the stories or the meaning of something, and that can shift how you feel, and that can change your actions. That can change your kind of how you feel physically, how you feel in your body, right? Tap the other armpit. So in this class, we kind of do both. We kind of do a top-down and a bottom-up approach. We can actually take the best of both worlds, and like that yin-yang symbol, they can kind of support each other. All right, let's move to the kidneys and lower back. And tapping, folding over a little bit. Down the butt and back to your legs. Anytime we're doing this movement portion of class, though, feel free to sit or opt out or modify. You're never going to be pressured or shamed or peer pressured into doing anything that you don't want to do. That's one of our core principles here. Everything is an invitation, not a requirement. I hope that's a sense of relief and maybe even a challenge, right? To do something different than what the teacher is doing or what the class is doing. Maybe that could be the most important exercise you do today, is the one you don't do, right? Outer hips, down the outside. Ankles, inside, up the middle. And now let's tap around the sternum with your fingertips like this. Left, right, tap, 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 tap. And let's do some chest breathing here to open up the lungs and the heart chakra. So right now I'm feeling like a lot of stirring around the heart, just kind of hearing about some of the painful things that folks had to endure this year and the losses. And, I can just feel that there's a physical location to that energy, right? That sadness or grief. For me, I can feel it like in the chest. And so the body, when we hold onto that kind of grief and we don't have an outlet, we don't have any way to discharge it or process it, often these things can kind of just settle in, and kind of get stuck, or we can fester in regret or anger. And we want to actually physically contact this energy when it arises in our body. And Qigong gives us a lot of tools to do that. So body tapping is one. And we're going to also do open palms now on the chest, and we're going to use sound. So you're going to make a ah sound like this. Ah. It's like a big sigh. And this should be loud enough that you kind of get your cat's attention, or the people in your house kind of look at you funny. Ah. Big sigh. And let the sound as a vibration carry some of this energy through the chest. We're going to do about 10 times. In through the nose. Big sigh. Ah. And whatever's alive in you, whether it's sad or happy or anxious or angry or whatever. Ah. Just kind of do your Tarzan impression and tap and release and let it out. Ah. And you can change the technique. You can do open palms, you can do fingertips, you can do fists. That's the real Tarzan one there. Ah. And one trick is, there's a lot of energy, do it with a little bit of a smile, especially if you feel awkward. or a little embarrassed, just smile through it and let that energy also move through. That sense of shame or embarrassment about ourselves is another emotion that might be ready to be processed, right? Along with whatever else is here. 3 more times. See if there's that feeling of movement, a palpable sense of energy going through. 2 more. One last time, really belt it out, let it all go. Inhale. All right, slow down, bend the knees. Now inhale, open your arms like this. And exhale, sink down. You might feel like a wave of energy as that heart opens with your breath, and exhale, let it go. And it's almost like you're breathing in and then breathing out like smoke or exhaust. Breathing in some fresh, clear, pure energy. Letting out thick, dark smoke, that exhaust of those old emotions, that pain, whatever, that byproduct of the year, let it out. All right, shoulders shrug, back and down. Nice. Let's step your feet out wide, bend your knees, sink down, gentle squats here. Now we're going to ground this energy. We kind of stirred things up. And now we're going to ground it. Palms together, shifting your weight side to side. Palms pressed toward the bent knee. And your head turns opposite your hand. So I had a teacher describe the healing process a little bit like this. Imagine you have an old, like a closet that's just stuffed with years worth of things. And you decide today's the day. I'm going to clean out this closet. I'm going to organize it. I'm going to, get it done. And so the first process is you have to take everything out of the closet, right? And so for the first part, you're actually making a bigger mess than when you started, right? So you take everything out of the closet and you look at it, and now it's like, ugh, it's even worse. So that's what happens when we kind of enter our mind and body with this type of conscious work, is sometimes you actually feel worse because we've been numbing ourselves, we've been avoiding things. And when we come into contact, it's painful, it's embarrassing, it's uncomfortable, it's vulnerable, right? But then we process all that stuff. Let's do a candle flame, your palms pressed, and you massage and kind of freely glide all around, massaging your neck and back. And so then all that stuff from the closet's all over the floor, but then you can say, okay, this thing I can let go. This thing I can give away. This thing I want to keep. This thing belongs somewhere else. There's that thing I've been looking for all this time. And so we process our own internal experience in that same way. And Qigong helps us do that. Reorder our physical and emotional and mental systems. Right? And now, tiger claws come out. Sink down, and you got big claws scratching a tree. And so then when you put everything back that you want to keep, you've gotten rid of everything you don't want. Imagine the next time you open the closet and you look in there, and the feeling of like, I know what's in there, and I know there's even space to put something new in there, right? Instead of like, I can't look at that, it's too much. So my goal is, as we continue this work, if you want to join me with this process together, we're kind of going through that, our inner closets, and reorganizing, hopefully getting to the point where we feel super comfortable in our own bodies and minds, and feel spacious and orderly, and we can use them as they're intended. All right, shake it off. And now bouncing your knees, Shake your shoulders. Do a little body vibration. I've got some drums for you. We're gonna really let 2024 go here. All right, I'm gonna crank it up for you here. All right, time to party. Shake your hands, shake your arms. Swing them all around. Let your neck and spine release. Imagine your body's like a welcome mat. You're taking it outside and you're just beating it against a tree, and all the dust and junk is flying out. Again, same analogy, right? You make a bigger mess at first, but then blows away and you got a clean mat. So shake the body. You can tap the body if you want to. And our goal is to just really take everything out of the closet, throw it over the floor, let it be processed. By first taking it out and looking at it, feeling it, sensing it. If you want to access the heart area, try the shoulder shake. You go like this, left, right, and you scrub the chest and heart area. That's where you're feeling stuck or blocked. The longer things have been held inside, old pains, regrets, fears, they get stuck on like last night's lasagna. It's harder to clean it off the pan, right? So we soak it and we scrub it. And you can actually feel it in your body. You might feel anxiety or fear in the stomach and kidneys. You can twist the hips and scrub the physical, sensational counterpart to those emotions. But also, you could just move your body with a sense of celebration. Not to get rid of anything, but to just enjoy the feeling of your body moving. Moving like the way your dog wiggles when it's ready to go for a walk. Just wagging its tail and panting and shaking. Whatever energy is alive in you now, just circulate it, shake, or tap, or move. Stir it all up. If you feel like you're getting overwhelmed, there's too much to handle, then just stop, sit, take a breath, do some breathing. Don't push yourself beyond your comfortable limits. But if you feel like you're invited to a challenge and you're ready to take it, then maybe you can push your limits a little bit. Just don't do it from a sense of obligation. Do it from a sense of invitation. What are you ready to let go of in 2024? What do you want to make sure you don't carry with you into the next year? This threshold, this turning point. Shake and tap, twist, vibrate. Scrubbing inside and out. Breathe out through the mouth to discharge that energy. A little smile can help you. Remember, this is all for fun. This is all for making life more wonderful. Last minute, shake, shake, shake it out. What are you ready to let go of? Feel free to use those sounds if you're comfortable with those vocalizations. Whatever you're ready to connect with, let it move through you. Trust your own inspiration and invitation. Your inner healer with you right now. All right, shake it all out. Last few breaths. All right. Slow it down. Ground your feet. Close your eyes. Stand still, but watch and feel all the internal movements continue right now. All right, soften the knees, gather your hands, inhale. Sinking down, exhale. Gather. Exhale. And now collecting this energy into Zhuang, embrace the tree. Standing in a horse riding stance, feet parallel, knees bent slightly, the knees can separate just a little bit out. Hips sunken, tucked in. Your body feels like it's suspended from a invisible string at the crown. Arms circle like a beach ball. Most important though, feel the life pulsing through your arms and hands and heart. Feel that vitality breathing within you. And collect and accumulate and center. What are the treasures, the gifts of 2024 that you want to collect? You want to protect? You want to make sure you don't lose. You want to learn how to use. Imagine your body almost like a magnet, drawing all these things from 2024 out. Bringing them into your arms, into your heart. And as you're holding posture and as you're accumulating your own attention, your energy, let's tap into the power of our imagination. Picture all these gifts from 2024 that are being extracted, kind of drawn into a box, like a beautiful treasure chest, perhaps, or a beautiful gift box. And it's almost like these abstract shapes or images or words or whatever it is that you're drawing from 2024 are being collected in this hidden box. They're being assembled, it's being put together into a symbol that you're going to receive as a gift. So in your mind's eye, approach that treasure chest or box. Notice what it looks like on the outside. And knowing that inside this box is a symbol, perhaps an object, vision or a sound or something recognizable that will be your symbol for the gift you're going to take with you forward into the next year. And in your mind's eye, you can even use your hands to lift the box or peel it apart and reveal that gift right now. And in your mind's eye, or even with your hands, you can kind of pick it up, look at it. It's an object. What is it? What is it for? What does it do? What does it mean? Almost like a puzzle or a riddle for you to contemplate, or maybe the meaning is immediately obvious. And take that gift with you, and hands move to the body, absorbing it into your aura, and something you can connect to a little bit later. And the hands to the heart, to the core, wherever they're drawn to, breathe 3 times and receive that gift from your subconscious or inner being. And sweeping down, massaging the hands like lotion, head to toe. And sweeping down to your feet. All right, let's come back to your seat. And if you're willing, feel free to share either your reflection from the Qigong or maybe what you saw. Was there an image or an object or a symbol? Feel free to share that too and what it might mean or just what that was for you. For me, I saw a like a telescope, one of those like you know old-fashioned ship captain telescopes, and to me, the meaning was pretty clear. It's kind of like having a longer term vision, but also like it's more specific. It's not like this very broad thing, but it's like the telescope, you can only see like one small thing, right? So for me, that was kind of resonated. Like that's my focus for the year ahead. Linda said a glowing light. Deb says a bird flying. AW's got a strong bicep. Nice. Yeah, feel free to share in the chat. A beautiful gold gift box with a big red velvet bow. Yeah. Oh, a white glowing ball radiating out of the sky. Wow. Sparkling angel hair, substance but also very light. My wedding picture when two became one. Wow. I always find it so fascinating that we all do the same practice, but we all have such a very different experience. And I'm reminded that it's like whenever I get excited, I'm like, I want people to have a certain experience. I want them to really enjoy this or get some out of it. I try to remember my role is like a mirror. Like I'm trying to hold up a mirror so that each person can see their own reflection as clearly as possible. Whatever is most important to them will be revealed. So yeah, I feel like I was trying too hard. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes the mind can get in the way and it's not a um doesn't feel like a natural connection with something. So this can be done on a regular basis if you like this and you want to do it more often. It could change every day even. So right now this was your symbol, but it may be changing as well. And yeah, it doesn't have to be a big epiphany. Sometimes it can be something very mundane too. Mm. All right, so now, and I'm realizing I'm probably gonna go over, definitely gonna go over time. So if you have hot dates or you gotta run, at any time you can sign out and you can finish the rest on the recording. But I want to get to the journal. So if you've got that with you, go ahead and grab it. Otherwise, I will share it on my screen. So we're going to now go into the first day of the Language of Life Daily Journal. Share my screen. There we go. Oh, that didn't work. Come back. There we go. So this is a process. I love journals, and I've had many through the years, and I've taken some of the best aspects of the ones I really like, and kind of incorporated the nonviolent communication concepts and spirit into it. So we're going to do the first page today, and then you'll be able to continue. This has 21 days that you can continue with. So starting tomorrow, January 1st through January 21st, if you do this every day, the idea is within 21 days, you can kind of set the seeds and roots of a new habit. You know, if you do something every day for 21 days, the chances you'll do it on the 22nd day are pretty high. But if you haven't done it for 21 days, the chances you'll just do it on the 22nd day are pretty low. So it's not a guarantee, but you will most likely continue if you can do it for even a week straight. I noticed it's enough to start the beginnings of a new habit. So here's how it works. There's two parts. The first part is done in the morning, and the second part is done at night. However, I found that I often will do both of them in the morning. So I'll do the first part for the morning, and then I'll do the evening part for yesterday. So it's kind of a reflection about yesterday rather than doing it twice a day. I found that just works because I can keep it in one place. But some people like to do it morning and night and do it both. So it's up to you. So we'll do this for tonight. So even the day part, we still have, a couple hours left. You might be up till midnight. So the first step is to identify what is the most important need for you to fulfill tonight in this case. So from our list of needs, here's some things to jog your ideas. Maybe it's celebration of life. Maybe it's connection. Maybe it's peace. What would be the most meaningful need of yours to be fulfilled tonight? Go ahead and write that at the top or just in your own journal or in the chat if you'd like. Okay. And then the next thing is to use our emotions as a guidance system where we consider if I don't fulfill this need, I will likely feel what? So let's say if my need tonight is celebration, and if I don't feel like there's any sense of celebration, I might feel what? And you can use your list here as always, or you can just jog, off the top of your head. Maybe I'll feel disappointed, bored, or kind of like, a little puzzled. I don't know. Those might be the feelings that I have if I don't meet this need. And then what will I likely feel if I do meet this need? If I feel like, yeah, we really celebrated in a way that was important or meaningful today. And again, you can use this list to jog your memory. Just feel excited, feel happy, feel thrilled. And the idea is if you do this in the beginning of the day and you say, okay, today my need is connection. If I don't meet this need, I'll feel this way. If I do, I'll feel that way. We're priming ourselves to use our emotions as a guidance system to say, hey, I think I'm getting off course because I'm feeling bored or distracted or irritable. That means I'm probably not getting my needs for connection met. Wonder what I can do differently, right? Or, hey, I could celebrate this twice. I was wanting to feel connected, and right now I'm having such a wonderful conversation. I'm feeling that thrill that I thought I would, and I get to enjoy that twice, knowing that this is also what I intended to happen. So this primes us to not just get to the end of the day and say, what happened? But throughout the day, be ready to use our emotions as a signal to reconnect to what's most important throughout the day. And then the next step will be, what are 3 actions to serve this need? So for me tonight, if the need is celebration, I'm going to go get our little party poppers, our little confetti, so we can have a little 9 p.m. countdown with my daughters and my wife, and we'll have like something fun to go off with a bang. So that's a specific action. So for you, what are some actual actions that you could do to fulfill this need that we're exploring tonight? And yeah, feel free. You can always type in the chat or do it in your journal. And then the last part is just simply a gratitude list. I'm grateful for, and connecting to what you appreciate, what you're grateful for is a beautiful morning practice to set the tone for connecting to what we value. All right, so that is the morning process. It really doesn't take very long, 5 minutes or less. And then we could do the second part. This could be done in the evening, or in this case, we can do it for yesterday, or we're at kind of a unique time right now. We could do this for earlier today. So then the same thing we did earlier, what is the high, the low, and the lesson? So what is the highlight of today so far for you? And so you can write that out, and then we will connect what were your feelings and which need was fulfilled in that highlight. So for me, I'll type it out. My highlight was class. The feelings are joy, uh, uh, presence. And what needs was that connected to? I feel the sense of community of each of us, sense of connection, the sense of hope, growth. So those are some of my highlights. And so by connecting what was the highlight, but also what was the feeling and the need underneath it, it can enrich that highlight and extract the gold to say, oh yeah, that's why this was important, right? Not just because this person showed up in my life or this sun came out or something outside of us. It allows us to connect with the inside of us. And now same thing for the low point of the day. So what was your low point today? And what are the feelings and the needs underneath that? For me, my low point today, feeling frustrated, speaking sharply at my daughter when she was doing something that I didn't like, and feeling regret and sad. And the needs under that, wish I had a little bit more compassion or connection in that moment, a little bit more presence or wherewithal to use my tools to process that in a different way instead of just reacting to it. Um, kind of mourning that loss of awareness. So same thing. So what was the low point, the feelings, the needs underneath it? And then finally, what was your lesson? What did you learn today? Can you take away? And for me, it's the how important community is, all the time that went into just creating this hour together. Um, the hours of creating these forms and sending out the emails and fielding questions and all that is completely worth it. It felt like really like hosting a party. It felt like so much fun. So just reminding myself how important community is and the effort and energy that goes into creating it. It doesn't happen by accident, but also reminding myself how valuable it is and how worth it it is. So yeah, feel free to type in the chat for yourself any lessons from today that you're taking away, or maybe even just from today's class together if you want to focus in on that frame. What are you taking away from our time together in the last hour? All right, so that's it. So it really doesn't take long. And can you imagine if you did this for 21 days, how much more likely in those moments of feeling triggered, in those moments of difficulty, that we'll be able to extract these tools from our brains and from our bodies because we've primed ourselves in the morning to connect to the need, the feeling, my intentions, my gratitude, and then to reflect because NVC can really be done in three levels. In hindsight, we can do it after the fact and say, going back, okay, I wish I'd done it this way. I wish I had said this. I could have done it like that. Insights is in the moment where we are interacting and these tools are available to us. And then foresight, we can prepare and plan ahead of a difficult conversation or something we're wanting to reconcile or repair and prepare the tools ahead of time for it. So 21 days of this, I believe, can really be enough to generate this NVC consciousness and to see it kind of bubble up in your life. And like those tools are there when you need them. That's my intention. So now I have one more thing to share and an invitation for you. So let me So if you enjoyed tonight and you want to continue, you want more, that's what I hope to do too. I'm inviting folks to continue with me every Tuesday at same time, same place. Uh, it's pretty easy to log in because if you're going to join us, you'll get an automatic email. You won't have to register like with AARP, or you got to do it all manually. So let me explain what my plan is for the year, and if you want to join us. So let me pull this up, and this is the welcome packet for our little kind of NVC class or book club. And you can read through a lot of this stuff later. I want to just give you some of the highlights. This just shares a little bit about NVC, the founder, Marshall Rosenberg, and his vision and history. And this is the curriculum I'm putting together. So I've run this course actually several times in the last few years. And this is a book. If my house was on fire and I can only take, 3 books with me, uh, this would be one of them. It's usually within arm's reach where I am in this office too. So Nonviolent Communication, it's a little book, and it's really, really potent and really powerful. So we're going to kind of use this book almost like a book club, and we'll meet every Tuesday for an hour, and I'll go through chapter by chapter. So you can read the book on your own in between classes. And then I have particular exercises that we'll do together. We'll practice speaking and role playing. I want to do a lot of coaching work with it where people can kind of bring a topic or a challenge to the group, and I could role play with you, or, we could kind of co-create some empathy or practice some of these skills together. So we go through the 14 chapters, and it takes about 6 months if we spend 2 weeks on each chapter, and the chapters at the end of the book are a little shorter, so we spend about 1 week on those. So yeah, for 6 months, if you want to really do a deep dive, I'll be offering a class, and you're invited. So the class will be basically 60 minutes, kind of like today. We'll have about a 5-minute discussion. We'll do some Qigong for about 10 minutes. And then the bulk of the time will be writing and speaking and practicing. And then we'll have some time for reflection and sharing. You just need a journal, a pen, the book, comfortable clothes, and a quiet place. And if you want to join this, I'll put the link in the chat also. But you can just click there and you can sign up. And then once you're subscribed, there's a monthly fee, and then it'll just auto charge, and then you can cancel anytime. But you'll basically be enrolled in the class. So you don't have to be manually booking each time. Although the teachings are priceless, the time is not. So the Qigong and the nonviolent communication work does come at a cost, unfortunately. So AARP actually offers a lot of free classes. And at one point, I'd love to offer this kind of class through their platform, because I know price can be a challenge for some people. And I'd love to be able to offer free things. So they only let me start new classes once a year. So this is something we might suggest for next year if price is an obstacle for you. But I will be offering it for $49 a month. And what it comes with is the weekly class, which is an hour. They won't be recorded though, because kind of a private space where people might be sharing things that are vulnerable. And so there won't be recordings, but if you do need to go on vacation for a month, you can pause your membership and you can start again. I'm happy with that. And yeah, it breaks down to about 12 bucks a class, So if you thought today was worth 12 bucks, hopefully you'll get the same amount of value each class in the future. So what's that, like a dozen eggs at this point? Yeah, 2 coffees. Yeah, it's hopefully worth it. And then you'll get access to a lot of tools. This is the other fun part. I love to create templates and tools, and I have dozens and dozens of these kind of like fill in the blank tools for your personal reflection, or if you're with somebody and you're saying, okay, let's hash this out. What were your observations? What were your feelings? What were your needs? What's your request? And you can almost kind of fill in the blank with these different templates. So I've got dozens of these that you'll get each class. And something's popping in the chat here. So let me field that. That's it. So let me take time now to answer questions, and then we'll say good night and happy new year. So let me put that link in the chat. So if you're sold, if you're excited, if you're eager to jump in and start, we start next Tuesday. So this same time, same place. Then you can just sign up tonight and get a head start. Um, but if you have more questions, you have a week to think about it, and you can think about it till next Tuesday. So either way is fine. Okay, let me put the link in the chat so it doesn't disappear, and then let me take your questions. Okay, yeah, Lori says I have other commitment every other Tuesday. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, I used to do it on Mondays, and I moved it to a Tuesday. So yeah, in the future, if there's a different day that works for you, let me know because I'd love to offer the folks that can't make it. Is there a limit to the number of people in the class? I've thought about that. I mean, I guess the technical limit is 100. I guess all I can fit in a Zoom room, but usually in the past we'll have anywhere from a dozen to, usually not more than 20 people. So it's yeah, it's usually big enough that you get a lot of diverse opinions, but not so big that you get lost in it. So yeah, but each time is different. So it depends how many folks want to join. I'd do my best to accommodate anybody who'd like to join. Joanne says, would you repeat the class later in the year, unable to join for this time? Yeah, that's a good question. If there's enough interest, I would, yeah. Um, Also, there's a lot of different NVC books out there. This is a good starting point. I know a lot of people are new to NVC, so this is a good way to begin. But yeah, I'd love to even maybe the next 6 months we explore a new book and a different book, and we always can come back to the same principles. Um, you can read this on your own and then catch up that way. So yeah, I'm really trying to respond to what people are wanting. So yeah, if folks want to do that again, I would do it. We have enough people, and yeah. Jenny say, is there a Qigong practice during the class? Yes, it will be shorter. It'll be about 10 minutes or so. It won't be like a full class, but really, one or two practices that are designed to dovetail with the theme. So some of the themes are like how to process anger. There's Qigong practices for that, or how to deal with sadness or depression. There's Qigong practices for that. So I will try my best to kind of dovetail the Qigong to make it relevant to the theme. But often it's also just breath awareness, body awareness, sensitivity to our sensations that is worthwhile too. Yeah, thank you, PV. Thank you, Betsy. Um, yeah, awesome. Marjorie says, I'm encouraged, empowered. Yay. Glad to hear that. Um, Beautiful. Happy New Year. And feel free to type in the chat here if there's any other questions here. And yes, you will have access to, so you can keep the templates from today. That's my gift to you, that 21-day journal. And if you join the weekly class each week for the next 3 weeks, we'll kind of touch on that. It'll be a little layer of accountability where we can check in on each other, celebrate, or, figure out, what other needs got in the way if we weren't able to do it. Hopefully that's a helpful tool for you too. All right, and let's see here. Yeah, so yeah, Yvonne's saying, yeah, so it won't be like usually our ARP classes, sometimes there's 200 or 300 people. It won't be that big, I don't think. That would be very surprising. So yeah, it'll be like a dozen, maybe 20 people. Depends on how many folks want to join, but usually it's not as big as a Qigong class. Sylvana says I'd prefer Wednesdays. Yeah, that's helpful. So if you yeah, if you have a different time or day that works better, if I get a ton of people that want to do a different day, maybe we start that. My schedule is a little bit, maxed out, so I don't know how many more I can offer, but that is good information. Isabel says we wanted to do the anger and grief class. Is it possible for us to just attend those sessions? Yeah, I suppose that's okay. I do have like for folks that want to do a drop-in, like for the regular classes, it's $20 for a drop-in. So yeah, you can email me. You can email me and see if that works. I find that it's a little bit harder when people are dropping in kind of randomly because it's there's this sense of like when everybody's kind of moving at the same pace. There's a lot more cohesion, and there's a lot more kind of parallel learning that goes on. But yeah, I'd be open to that possibility. So yeah, you can email me if you're interested in just doing drop-ins. But yeah, we'd probably need at least 10 or 12 people to make the class really run as a as a regular thing. If everybody's doing drop-ins, I don't know if I could really make that work from my end. And is there a test? No test. And no certification. No. So it's just for personal enrichment and personal growth. Yeah. And and if finances are an issue for folks too, just send me an email. We could work out something. If that's an obstacle, let me know and we could try to make it work for you. Maybe we can have an NVC challenge where we try to push other people's buttons and see how they practice. That's interesting. It's kind of like a antagonistic coaching. It's kind of fun. So you'd be like, you're such a so-and-so, and then you're like, you try to respond to that. That sounds like maybe more like an advanced class. I don't know if we'll do that for the beginning, but that's a fun idea. I like that. NVC Jiu-Jitsu class. Yvonne's asking, can I pay by credit card? Yeah, that is possible. So yeah, if you click that link, that'll take you to a registration page, and then you can get signed up. And it'll just keep your card on file, and it'll run it each month. And you'll be in. But yeah, check it out tonight or this week, and send me an email if you have any questions. That pounding noise at the door sounds like my 3-year-old wanting to play. So I think that's my cue. Thank you all so much for joining, and really, really excited to get to share this. And I'd love to continue with you. Otherwise, we'll see you in Qigong class or flow state fitness or something else next year. Happy New Year. Lots of love.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, feel free to open your mic if you want to say bye, and hello to everybody. Hello, goodbye.
Happy New Year, and thank you so much.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, thanks, Nate. Love all your classes.
You're welcome.
Met your daughter, and I want to